I used to believe that saying your goals out loud made them real. I used to believe that the more people knew about my dreams, the closer I was to achieving them. I was wrong. This is not a story about talent. This is not a story about luck. This is a story about silence, discipline, and the dangerous comfort of talking too much. And it begins in a small town where everyone knew everyone, and everyone had something to say. In that town lived two young men. Their names were Ayaan and Rizwan. They were the same age. They came from similar backgrounds. They went to the same school, walked on the same dusty roads, and dreamed of escaping the same limitations. But the way they chased their dreams was completely different. Rizwan was loud. Ayaan was silent. Rizwan loved talking about success. He talked about the business he was going to start. He talked about the money he was going to make. He talked about the car he would buy, the house he would build, and the respect people would give him one day. At tea stalls, he spoke confidently. At family gatherings, he announced his plans proudly. On social media, he posted quotes about hustle, grind, and greatness. People listened. People nodded. People praised him. Rizwan is going places, they said. And every time someone admired him, he felt successful, without actually achieving anything. Ayaan, on the other hand, rarely spoke. When people asked him about his future, he smiled politely and said, "I'm working on something." No details. No speeches. No announcements. Some thought he lacked ambition. Some thought he had no plan. Some didn't think about him at all. And Ayaan was fine with that. Every morning before sunrise, while the town slept, Ayaan woke up. Not to post motivation. Not to talk about discipline. He woke up to work. He studied when others scrolled. He practiced when others planned. He failed quietly and learned silently. No one clapped for him. No one noticed. And that was his greatest advantage. Rizwan's days were full of conversations. He planned endlessly, but rarely executed. He felt productive because he was busy. He felt accomplished because people believed in him. But deep down, something strange was happening. Every time he talked about his goals, his motivation decreased. Every time he received praise, his hunger faded. Every time he announced his plans, his brain felt like the work was already done. Without realizing it, he was stealing his own future, one conversation at a time. Months passed. Rizwan started many things. None of them lasted. A business idea here. A new skill there. A big announcement everywhere. But when things got difficult, when progress slowed, when reality demanded discipline instead of words, he quit. And he always had an excuse. The timing wasn't right. The system is unfair. People didn't support me. He blamed everything except the truth. Ayaan's journey was different. It was lonely. It was boring. It was painful. There were days he wanted to talk about how hard he was working. There were nights he wanted validation. There were moments he wanted someone to say, "You're doing great." But he stayed silent. Because he understood something most people never learn. Your goals don't need applause. They need action. One day, an elder in the town noticed Ayaan. Not because Ayaan spoke. But because his work spoke for him. The elder asked, "How long have you been preparing?" Ayaan replied, "Years." The elder was surprised. No one knew. Ayaan smiled and said, "That's why I could focus." Silence protected Ayaan from opinions. No one doubted him, because no one knew what to doubt. No one discouraged him, because no one knew what he was building. No one distracted him, because no one expected updates. While others wasted energy explaining themselves, Ayaan invested energy improving himself. Rizwan, meanwhile, was exhausted. Exhausted from talking. Exhausted from pretending. Exhausted from starting over. People still listened to him, but with less belief. His words sounded familiar, repetitive, empty. One day, someone asked him, "You've been talking about success for years. What have you actually achieved?" Rizwan laughed it off. But that question stayed with him. The truth is painful. Talking about goals gives instant satisfaction. Working toward goals gives delayed rewards. Most people choose the first, because it feels good now. But success doesn't care about feelings. It only responds to consistency. Years passed. And then, quietly, without announcement, Ayan succeeded. Not overnight. Not magically. But undeniably. His skills were sharp. His mindset was disciplined. His confidence was real, not borrowed from validation. People were shocked. Where did he come from, they asked. The answer was simple. He never left. He was just working silently. Rizwan watched from a distance. And for the first time, he understood. The silence wasn't weakness. It was strategy. The quiet wasn't fear. It was focus. The lack of announcements wasn't lack of ambition. It was discipline. Here is the lesson most people learn too late. When you announce your goals, you invite opinions. When you invite opinions, you invite doubt. When you invite doubt, you lose momentum. But when you stay silent, you stay dangerous. Silent workers win because they don't waste energy explaining. They don't seek approval. They don't chase validation. They build skills instead of stories. They build habits instead of hype. They build results instead of noise. Loud talkers fail because they confuse movement with progress. They replace action with discussion. They trade discipline for dopamine. Every compliment becomes a substitute for effort. Every announcement becomes an excuse to relax. Let me tell you something important. The world doesn't reward intention. It rewards execution. No one pays you for what you plan to do. No one respects you for what you say you'll achieve. They respect what you've already done. So stop announcing. Stop telling people what you're going to do. Stop seeking approval before results. Stop leaking your energy through words. Move in silence. Work when no one is watching. Build when no one is clapping. Let your absence confuse them. Let your discipline shock them. Let your results speak so loudly that your silence becomes legendary. Because in the end, loud talkers get attention. Silent workers get everything. End of story.